All right, welcome everybody. It's 8:31 here in Vancouver. We're ready to get started here today. Um, welcome to everybody. It's great to see so many of you out here this morning. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping items. Our presentation today is going to be around 20 minutes. And then we'll have ample time for questions and answers after the presentation as well. So, if you have any questions throughout this session or even afterwards, you can go ahead and type them in the GoToMeeting chat panel, and we'll make sure to address each and every one of them after the presentation. We are also recording the session today, and we're going to make that recording available on our YouTube channel, our Thought Farmer YouTube channel, and also on our Thought Farmer community site for those who are customers. So stay tuned for that in the next couple of days. And before we get started, I'll quickly do some introductions. My name's Caroline, and I lead our customer success team here at Thought Farmer. And Darren, who's our presenter today, is our Thought Farmer president and founder. And today we're really excited to introduce our improved Thought Farmer Cloud Drive integration. Today is actually part one of a two-part webinar series on that topic. For today's presentation, we're going to focus on showing you our Google or our G Suite integration. And then tomorrow at the same time, we have the second webinar, which is going to showcase our new Office 365 integration. So OneDrive and SharePoint Online. If you haven't signed up for that webinar yet and you are interested in joining us, we have the sign up link here up on the screen right now. So it's thoughtfarmer.com/integrations-webinar. Go ahead and sign up for that one tomorrow at the same time if you're interested in that. Without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to Darren right now and let him show you everything we have about Google Drive.
Thanks, Caroline. So yeah, I'll get started here. Now, in terms of agenda here today, we're just going to talk a little bit, a few slides here, talk about the key trends, the background that we saw prior to building this functionality. We talked about a little bit more about our approach, how we've resolved the Google Drive and Thought Farmer and the Internet Integration Challenge, and then the bulk of the presentation is going to be a live demo, followed up by a little bit more information about timing of this new functionality and any Q&A that you might have. So if you do want to ask questions, just use that chat window there. So in terms of key trends that we've observed, there's been an ongoing shift of business applications to the cloud, and this has been going for a while now. Two mainstay applications that we've seen people start to move now as well has been the Active Directory server. So traditionally, this is going to be something that's behind the firewall with all your usernames and passwords, as well as the file server. The file server has been a real reliable workhorse. The F drive, everybody knows it. But moving into the cloud, it's going to really try to enable a lot more access to new technologies. So with Active Directory in the cloud, it enables access to other cloud services for unified authentication, easier maintenance and deployment. With the file systems, with the file servers, it's really made lives easier for IT administrators because it's easier to manage. Backups are handled automatically. And users really like this as well, too, because of the real-time collaboration that services like Google Drive and Google Docs provide. So for Thought Farmer, we wanted to take advantage of these trends, and we wanted to make it easy to work with Thought Farmer here as well. So we've made it possible to access the internet with single sign-on using the same Google account that you're using today. We want to really try to make it easy to manage and organize your content on your intranet there as well too. So if you've got Google Drive files, you want to be able to make it easy for people to link to pages, to build document libraries, and to organize them on your intranet to make finding easy. We wanted to make sure that content was going to be secure as well too, so that if people have security restrictions on the content of Google Drive, that we respect that when it's linked up to your intranet. We want to make sure that our search engine is now integrated with Google Drive as well too, so you can find stuff quickly. And lastly, we work with both My Drive and Team Drives in Google. So I'm not sure if not everybody is using Team Drives, Team Drives is a feature of the business, enterprise, or education accounts of G Suite, but it gives you the ability to work together on shared folders with everyone in the company. So I'm going to jump over to the demo portion now. So this is Thought Pharma 9 that we're looking at here. This is a fictitious company, Pacific Credit Union. And I've already logged in here now, and I've logged in using my Google account. So when I first access the site here, I just come up and I get redirected to Google for the authentication step, type in my username and password, and now I'm accessing the internet. Behind the scenes, we're using SAML, which is the standard there for user authentication. So I'm just going to go here. I'm going to navigate to the department section here. Into the sales section, and I'm going to go pull up this contract template page. So from here, you'll notice here there's a new link down here at the bottom if you're a regular Thought Pharma user, and there's a Google Drive link onto here. When I click it, it opens up this dialog here, which allows me to browse my my Google Drive folder here, and I can see the different folders that are there. And if I actually take a look here over on Google Drive, this is just mirroring exactly what I'm seeing here in my Google Drive interface. So I'm going to go here to software contracts, and I can see there's 3 files here that are available for me. If I want to, I can select as many of them as I want, and I can just hit link. And now I've attached them onto this page. And so anybody else that comes here to this page, they're going to see these files here as well too. So there's a couple of different options that I have here as well too. So I just linked these onto the page here, which shows them as an attachment on the bottom of the page. Nice and easy. But I can also come into here and I can change that. I'm going to go back into that dialog again. Navigate to that folder. And this time, rather than linking them, I'm just going to hit embed. And I can embed more than one in here if I want to as well too. So when I embed a document, it actually shows up as a preview directly in the page here. And I can browse through this entire content. See my whole document here. It's embedded right here on the page. If I click the file, if I click the title, it's going to take me right into that document. And if I make changes into it, just like any Google Doc, if I change it, it's going to get saved automatically. And if I go back to the page here, you'll notice after a refresh, those changes have been reflected here in my document. So everything's automatically kept in sync there. So that's a Google document, but we also work with pretty much any type of document that Google Drive can work with here. So I'm going to go over here to the marketing section. So earlier we did a presentation on FormFlow. It's one of our new features that's coming up in Thought Pharma. If I want to embed that presentation, I can do it really easily here as well too. Take that document, click embed. So now you can see we've got that embedded slide deck in here, and you can see how it shows up in this preview format. Nice preview format here. I can jump back and forth to my slides and see that slide deck, nice and easy right there on my intranet. Let me show you a Excel spreadsheet or a Google spreadsheet. So if I take here, this is a status page for a project. Maybe I want to upload the, oops. So this is a Google Sheet. You can see here, again, same as before. If I go into that, click on that title there, I can go into the document here, make changes. When I come back into here, you'll see that content is all been refreshed and displayed here directly in the page. It also works with, so Google Sheets, Google Slides, and Google Docs, those are all examples of built-in document types for Google Drive. But we also integrate with, if you're using other types of content. So a tool that we use quite often here is a product called Draw.io, and it's actually it's a third-party add-on for Google Drive, similar to Visio, which allows you to make diagrams. So if I go into here, this is this Aurora Backup Infrastructure is a Draw.io file. And you can see here it works directly in, I can embed that diagram in there. If I tap into it, I'll see the preview here in Google Drive, and then I can actually open that directly up in Draw.io. And any changes I make here are going to automatically be synced back up into that document. So that shows you how you can very easily embed pretty much any type of Google Drive file directly into your intranet. It makes it great to be able to organize files and build up pages there with previews of that content that you're working with. But another thing that we realize that people often do is they work with folders or directories of files on their Google Drive. And for that use case, we also have the ability to embed have the ability to embed folders into pages as well. So I'm going to show you here. So just close these. So I'm jumping over here to my Google Drive here. And you'll notice here on the left-hand side, we've got my drive. I can see all the folders. These are all the files that are in my own drive. But we also have the Team Drive support here as well, too. And team drives are a little bit different. By default, they're shared by a broad group of people. So you can see you have a whole bunch of different folders here for all the different teams. And oftentimes, something that's a great use case for Google Drive, and especially for team drives, is like when working together, collaborating with people on a large set of files. So this is these are a set of videos that we've been producing here as part of our upcoming ThoughtFarmer 9 feature. And these are all stored here inside a team drive. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually using the Google Drive file stream support. And so this is a tool that allows me to sync up my Google Drive files directly onto my computer. So if I go over here in my computer, I can see the team drives. I can see the different folders that are available there. And I can see under projects here, ThoughtFarmer 9 Forms videos. So these are actually synced locally here onto my computer. I can go offline, I can continue to work with them, and then I can sync back up again. They're going to automatically sync. So I've got this folder of videos here, something that I've been working on. And what I can actually do is I can actually embed that whole folder onto my intranet. So I'm going to go back here to Departments. I'm going to go to Marketing, the video repository page here, and I'm going to embed this whole folder. So in that case, it was on the team drive. So I'm going to switch over here. You can see I have a couple of different options here. I can see the files that were recently shared with me, files I've recently viewed, and team drives. I'm going to select team drives here. I'm going to navigate into projects. And I'm going to select this whole folder here, this ThoughtFarmer 9 Forms video, and I'm going to embed it into the page. And so now, rather than just showing that individual file that I embedded, it's actually showing the contents of this folder. And the nice thing about this approach here is if I make changes to that folder, it's automatically going to be reflected here on this page. So if I'm over here, I can make changes, add files, delete files. If I make changes to them, it's automatically going to be reflected on that page there. But I can also go back here into the into my Google Drive file stream here. And if I make changes from here, so I'm just renaming some file names here, cleaning stuff up a bit. You'll notice that as I make those changes, you'll see the icon up here as it goes through and syncs up all those changes with Google Drive. When I come back over here and if I refresh, you'll see all those changes have automatically been reflected. So it's a great way to work with files. I can create other folders in here. reorganize stuff on this end. And once Google Drive finishes syncing, it will automatically make those changes reflected there on my intranet and in Google Drive. So everything stays in sync. Very useful. Now, one of the things we wanted to do, I mentioned it earlier in my slides, was we wanted to make it possible for people to keep everything secure on the internet. So any content that I do not have access to in Google Drive, I shouldn't be able to see on the internet. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you, so if somebody goes ahead and adds a file to something that I don't have access to, so here I'm browsing the legal team section, I'm into the contract library. You can see here there's a couple of files I do have access to, but here I can see there's a file that somebody's linked up here that I do not have the permissions to access. If I click through into that file, you'll notice here that I get the permissions dialog. And from here, I can either request access, and perhaps I'm logged in with the wrong account. I could switch accounts, and I'd be able to get access into that file. But that content, if somebody else has linked it up onto the internet here, if I don't have the correct permissions for it, it's not going to work there as well. Another feature that we've added here with our integration here is we made it really easy to work with, to link to Google Drive files as well too, anywhere from within comments or inside the rich text editor. So if I'm working inside a comment here, I can go, Caroline. I can add a comment, and I can use the link editor. And from here, you'll notice an option here. It says Google Drive. There's the fee schedule. I can click insert, and it's going to add that link there directly to that document. Now, when anybody comes along and clicks to it, it's going to take them directly in to be able to see that content. So really easy to work with Google Drive files, no matter what type they are, whether it's a folder or a file, wherever they live. Now, the last thing I want to show here is searching for files within Google Drive. So it's really easy to search for content on your intranet with ThoughtFarmer. So now we've made it just as easy to search Google Drive as well. So if I search for a piece of content here, so I just search for contract, you'll notice the autocomplete is searching both the intranet right here as well as Google Drive. And so from here, if I go and I click into that content, I can directly open that, that document directly from those search results there. Or I can even do a full search. And from here, you'll see we provide an integrated search results page, which shows both the intranet search results on here, as well as the Google Drive search results as a little preview of what I've been looking for. And if you click through, you can actually see just solely the Google Drive results here as well too. And you're into that content. So yeah, I hope that gives you a brief understanding of how Google Drive and ThoughtFarmer works and how you can integrate those two to really provide a cohesive intranet that combines the best of Google Drive as well as intranets. So I'm going to jump back over to my presentation here. There's our live demo. So timing. So the Google Drive integration, it's part of our ThoughtFarmer 9 release, which will be coming out November 2018. A few other key features of ThoughtFarmer 9 include FormFlow. There's a great webinar that we recorded recently, available at thoughtfarmer.com/formflow, where you can see it's a great new solution for managing fielded data and forms on your intranet. We have Office 365 integration as part of ThoughtFarmer 9, improved tag management, inline help, better performance, and an enhanced API. So it's a great new release. We're pretty excited about it. It's going to be launching later in November. And that's it. Caroline, I'm not sure if we have any questions there, but I'm happy to answer any if we do.
Thanks, Darren. And yeah, we do have a few questions that are already trickling in. Again, for anybody on the line, if you have any questions for Darren on anything Google Drive related, feel free to type them into the GoToMeeting chat box there, and we'll make sure to answer those. First question that's come up here from Audra. Similar to an integration with Active Directory, are you planning to introduce an integration with Google User Directory and Google Groups?
Yes, that is actually in the works there. So right now, in terms of our integration with Google Drive, we do have currently the username and password login syncing. And then we will be, we're actually currently working on the Google user and group membership synchronization, which would be, it's going to be coming fast on. It's not in the 9.0 release, but it'll probably be in the 9.1 release within the next 2 months.
Excellent. Another question here. Can I embed Google Drive files if I'm not using Google for authentication?
Yes, you can. That's definitely supported. So if you're using Active Directory or another third-party authentication service, you can still work with Google Drive files. Users will have to, they'll log into the internet, they'll be accessing the internet, and when they go to embed those files, they'll also have to authenticate with Google at that point to give access to those files. So it's an extra login step. That's one benefit you get integrating your logins, is they can all log in at the same time.
Great. Another question here is around embedding files. If I embed a file on a page, has that file then been moved from my cloud drive to my intranet?
So we're not actually storing any of the content of the files in ThoughtFarmer. We're basically storing a reference to it. So that whole embed view is provided through the Google Drive API. So it looks like it's embedded directly into your internet, but it's actually just a reference. So no.
Okay. And then Ian wants to know, can I embed any file type?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we've been trying as many different file types as we can, as many different Google Drive add-ons. Some of them do provide, a better user experience than others, but so far everything we've been able to throw at it has worked. If there's something you're using and you have any further questions, feel free to just reach out to us and we can give it a try.
Okay. Another question that just came in here. Do search results also take into account security permissions on Google Drive?
Yes, they do. So when you're searching, you're only going to get search results that you have permission to view.
Okay. Does this work with both Google and Microsoft?
Yes. If you are an organization that is using Office 365 and Google Drive, you can actually mix and match and have both of them running at the same time. Again, you'll have to go through that same kind of authentication step there. But yeah, it will work with both.
Perfect. Yeah, that's all the questions we had that were posted in GoToMeeting. So I think that concludes our webinar for today. Again, just a reminder, we did record the session today, so we could, if you want to share this with a coworker or you want to review it at any point later, we will be posting this on our YouTube channel as well as on our ThoughtFarmer community site. And then lastly, of course, for those interested, we have another webinar tomorrow at, again, the same time, so 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, 11:30 Eastern, that talks a little bit more about our Office 365 Cloud Drive integration. So that's on for tomorrow on Wednesday. That's it for us in Vancouver. Thanks so much for joining us, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.